What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review of a movie that is coming to Shudder called The Dark and the Wicked. And it's pretty awesome. So I just got to check out Brian Bertino's new movie. If you're not familiar with him, he's the guy that did the movie The Monster, which I absolutely loved. And he also did The Strangers. So what is The Dark and the Wicked? Well, it's pretty dark and it's pretty wicked. I'd say that kind of sums up the movie pretty well. It is essentially about a family that is on a secluded rural farm where brother and a sister are going to take care of their mother because their father is fallen ill. Seems like he's in a coma or some sort of vegetative state. And they soon realize that something is going on in the house. Their mother keeps telling them that they shouldn't have come. And they're like, well, of course we're coming. We're going to help you. And things slowly start to unravel. And I do mean slow because in the very beginning, it is going to be a little slow for some people who cannot get into slow burns. I'm personally always on the fence when it comes to a slow burn because it's got to have that payoff for me to really enjoy the slow burn. Like, it needs to take me somewhere, and this movie does. Now, does it answer every single question that I have? Absolutely not, and that's okay sometimes. I feel that it's okay in this case. Now, it's hard for me to explain why I feel that way, but let's just say that the movie does not tell you everything that's going to happen, why it's happening, and what has befallen this family. And I find that rather intriguing. Now, I'm sure there's probably some sort of metaphor in here for the evil within us all. The devil, so to speak. How that affects each of us. How death affects each of us. How selfishness affects each of us. How everything. And this is just my own personal take on it. You might actually derive something else from watching the movie. At first, I gotta be honest, I really was a little worried that it was gonna be too slow with not too much going on. They even had one of the tropes in the movie that always kind of is cool, but I've been seeing it a lot. Let's just say I've seen it in a lot of movies recently, so it didn't really shock me as much. But I will say this did that trope better than those other movies that I've seen. I also thought some of the acting was really good, too, in it. There's some parts from just about everybody, but one in particular from a preacher that does do some creepy work in this film. There's quite a bit of creep in this movie, and it does get more and more unsettling as it goes, and it just opens up your imagination to what kind of horrors may lurk ahead. And I guess if I was being real picky, I would have loved to see a lot more because it does make my imagination kind of percolate for all this, like, what the fuck is happening? Glad I stuck around for it because it did get better and better and better as it went on. In fact, it started getting in my head and making me feel like there was just like, what the fuck is going to happen next? Like, it's not just physical, it's mental, it's everything. It's almost like these people are basically drugged through hell and are trying to escape it. And everyone's pretty much going to die, which is pretty awesome if you ask me. Because there's a lot of blood and a lot of death and a lot of crazy, wicked atmosphere that's creeping around every single corner, making you wonder what the hell is going to happen next. And it begins to become more and more consistent as the movie progresses. And you just really have no idea what the fuck to expect. Now, this may be a bad thing for some people because some people like different forms of horror and they may not like movies that make them guess by the end and make you wonder what it's really all about. Sometimes I think that's necessary. Sometimes it's not always so good to lay everything out because sometimes what is horrific is not knowing. Granted, there are some movies that do this better than others, and I think this one's actually pretty damn good. I want to make sure that I am clear on how this movie is so that if you are interested in renting it or just waiting till it comes on Shudder, because it will be coming on Shudder, I believe, in January, beginning of the year at least. But I think it's worth a rent, honestly. I think I would give this movie an 8, and it could waver between that and a 9 for some, or down to a 7 or 5. I've seen some reviews on this already, just out of curiosity. They were marking it pretty low, calling it the normal, slow burn thing, which in my opinion is kind of cutting it too short, because this movie has one hell of a way of developing an atmosphere. I think this movie might do the same for some people because of its messaging. But 8 out of fucking 10 is pretty damn good to me. It is for rent for $5.99. It is a Shudder film, technically original, but it will be on the service, like I said, in January, I believe. So if you want to wait, you can, but I honestly think it's worth the $5.99 to rent. If you're not a slow burn fan, you might not want to do it. But I think if you hang in there, give it a little while, it'll pick up. And then you'll be like, okay, this isn't as bad as like regular slow burns. So some people are making comparisons to like Hereditary and stuff, and I can kind of see that because it does have sort of a messed up thing. Some of the flaws that I found in this movie were probably some of the CGI. It is a little bit noticeable, but I can kind of give it a pass a little bit because of the atmosphere and the just unrelenting stuff that was happening with all the different characters in the movie. And I hope that gives you guys a good understanding of what the movie is like without spoiling for you. I definitely enjoyed it. I think 8 out of 10. It could be high for some, but I wouldn't go any lower than 7.5 for me. So, but I really enjoyed it. I'm definitely looking to picking this up, and I'm definitely looking to check out more from Bertino in the future. What did you guys think? Have you seen it yet? Are you going to wait to see it on Shudder, or are you going to try to rent it now? Does it sound like it's something up your alley? There is a lot of gore in the movie. It's not exactly the most gruesome, gory film I've ever seen, but man, it goes there. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this content, please hit the like and subscribe button. We would love to have you back, and check out more reviews in the future. But other than that, thank you so much for spending your time with me, and as always, long live the void.